Just under 2 months ago, over 100 young ball players descended on Normal, Illinois with a couple of goals in mind to progress as baseball players and to win some hardware. Now we stand on Saturday, July 20th, in this beautiful day at the Corn Crib. 4 teams began and 2 remain. The Merchants and the Ground Sloths have outlasted the other half of the Colonel's Collegiate League, and they find themselves one step from the summit, where only one will conquer the ultimate prize and win the Colonel's Collegiate League. Welcome to the Corn Crib, the 2024 Colonel's Collegiate League Championship game. I'm Griffin Leonard. We'll be joined by Adam Hipsky for the back innings later on in the show. It all comes down to this, and I certainly cannot wait. The Merchants, the home team today, coasted their way through the bracket. They won both of their games to put themselves in the championship game. The Ground Sloths, on the other hand, had to work for it, winning 2 of their 3 contests, including beating the Blue Caps twice. So it all comes down to this final game. Ground Sloths Merchants for the 2024 Colonel's Collegiate League Championship. Let's do this thing. The Ground Sloths will hit first. Luke Weber is on the mound for the Merchants. Weber delivers the first pitch, and it is grounded foul off the bat of Blake Crancer. Crancer, the leadoff batter for the Ground Sloths, hit leadoff just a little bit ago in the second semifinal where the Ground Sloths defeated the Blue Caps. And he's at it again. The 0-1 outside. The count is even. The Ground Sloths playing their second game of the day, the first and only time that will happen for a team this season. And you've got to wonder, will that factor into fatigue? 1-1, just off the outside edge with the slider. It was a good location on the pitch from Weber as it broke away from the hitter, but held off. 2-1. 2-1 pitch, and it is hit high in the air, right side of the infield, right on that foul line. It's Nate Reed drifting into foul ground and making the catch. 1 away. The Merchants out of the winner's bracket defeated the Bobcats and then the Ground Sloths to get to this point. Meanwhile, the Sloths, after losing, had to rebound, which they did against the Blue Caps. First pitch on the inside corner to Shea Brozick. Brozick facing the 0-1 from Weber, and it is off the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Defensive alignment for the Merchants is as follows. Brooks Newhoff, Cody Morton, Clay Kahn, and Nate Reed, left to right in the infield. The 1-1 is fouled off right back into the leg of Shea Brozick, who's down on a knee, but he should be okay. Outfield for the Merchants, Jake Stewart in left field, Ashton Horsham straightaway center, and down the right field line is Noah Company. The battery for the Merchants, catcher Daniel Bastidas, and pitcher Luke Weber. Those two having a conversation right now, and a pat of encouragement from Bastidas, who will head back to the plate. Brozick appears to be all right. He will lumber back into the mound with onto the batter's box rather, with a little bit of a limp. 1-2 the count. From the windup, here it is. And the pitch is poked right side, foul out of play into the seats on the concourse. So it remains 1-2. From the windup, here comes Weber, and the pitch misses high. Fairy tale night here at the ballpark. And the crowd has certainly turned up. A good crowd for this KCL championship. The 2-2 misses high. A couple of Disney princesses walking out in right center field. The count is full. Weber staring down Shea Brozick. The payoff pitch is hit right back up the middle over the outreached glove of Clay Kahn. It's a one-out single to get the offense going for the Ground Sloths. So Mateo Casillas will hit next with one on and one out. Not only do the Ground Sloths have to play twice in a row here, they had to move dugouts. They were in the first base dugout for game one as the home team, but the Merchants home team for the championship, they said, hey, this is our dugout. You guys got to slide over. First pitch to Casillas is popped up left side, hooking toward the netting, and it will just get out of play, clanging off the top of the dugout and caught on one hop by a fan sitting down the third base line. 0-1 the count after the foul ball. Shea Brozick is leading off of first base. From the stretch now, Luke Weber, the 0-1. And it's inside, nearly tagging Casillas, but getting out of the way of the inside slider. I believe our home plate umpire may have initially thought that it hit him before realizing it had not. Check on Shea Brozick at first. Brozick, 81% trying to steal bases this year. 9 stolen bases, caught stealing twice. The 1-1. Leg kick, and he comes forward. Ground ball right side. It could be 2. Clay Kahn, it took him away from the second base bag, so he'll go to first instead. Brozick moves up to second on the play, and there are 2 down. Runner on second, 2 away. Luke Landress hitting for the Ground Sloths, trying to get on the board early here in the championship game. Weber checks on second, now comes home. And the slider turning away from the hitter. They'll peel down to first. He did not go around. It was certainly close. 1-0 the count. An early hit for the Ground Sloths, but they have yet to cash it in, running out of an opportunity to do so. 1-0 the count as Landress will try to change that. Weber, the right-hander, comes home with the 1-0, and that time he certainly went around. The home plate umpire didn't even bother sending it down to first base this time. Calls it a strike on the swing. 1-1 the count. Even count to Luke Landress. Batting with 2 away. The 1-1 pitch to the designated hitter. Swung on and missed. Slider right down the heart of the plate. And the count is 1-2. A pitch away from escaping the miniature jam. Luke Weber with the ball behind him now brings it to his glove at the belt. Delivers the 1-2. Ground ball chopped left side, bouncing foul, where it will be shut down by Newhoff. Well foul. He zips it back to his pitcher, and Weber will step back on the mound for another 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Weber trying to get him again. Runner on the move. Ground ball softly hit up the middle. It's fielded by Morton, who throws on the run in time. The shortstop makes a nice play to retire the side. We will head to the bottom of the first. It's the 2024 Colonel's Collegiate League Championship game right here on the Normal Corn Belters and KCL YouTube network. Back here live for the bottom of the first. Clay Kahn will lead it off for the Merchants. They'll face Braden Vanderheit, the ace of this Ground Sloths rotation. A first pitch strike on the outside corner to Clay Kahn, playing his collegiate ball at Regis University. And the 0-1 misses outside. The Ground Sloths trying to do exactly what the Blue Caps did a year ago, as that pitch is in there for a strike, and becoming back-to-back 4 seeds to come and win the tournament despite being the heaviest of underdogs. 1-2, Vanderheit. The ball is flied into right center field. It'll be Krancer and Hobbit. Krancer will call off his right fielder and make the catch comfortably. So there's one away here in the bottom of the first. Be impressive if we were already in the third. It'll be Ashton Horsham to hit the 2-hole hitter. The defensive alignment for the Ground Sloths is as follows. Brozick, Anderson, Applegate, and Casillas in the infield as Horsham shoots a ball left side, hooking toward the soccer goals down the left field line and onto the hill. Well out of reach of the outfield, which consists of Carter Selk, Blake Krancer, and Dalton Hobbit. The 0-1 grounded through the right side. A base hit for Ashton Horsham. And just as the Sloths did in the top half of the first, a 1-out base hit. So the Merchants trying to cook up something here in the first. It's Cody Morton batting with a man on first and 1 away. Morton looks at a first pitch fastball that whizzes high, ball 1. Morton on the regular season, an OPS up over 1,000. Hitting .333. 1-0 pitch. Runner on the move in Horsham. The ball's cranked to center field. That's going to send Krancer back, but he collects it and makes the catch. 2 down, and Horsham retreats to first. He was nearly standing on that second base bag when the ball was caught, but had ample time to return to the base. 2 away quickly. Vanderheit certainly working efficiently, even with the hit. Luca Morelli, the right-handed bat, into the box now with 2 down. Right-on-right matchup. Vanderheit stares down first and now throws a skip to the first base bag that was not ideal in any fashion. It's gloved by Casillas on a hop, otherwise the ball would have trailed into right field. Still waiting on the first pitch is Morelli, and he will have to wait even further as Vanderheit steps off. Braden comes set at the waist, and now will come forward. The first pitch is on the top part of the zone, called strike to Morelli. Morelli batting in the designated hitter position today in the cleanup spot. 0-1 after the called strike. Vanderheit delivers, and the pitch is a little bit higher this time. They'll throw down to first, but it's not in time to get Horsham, who came back feet first to the bag. Morelli digs back into the right-handed batter's box. Big gap on the left side of the infield. Horsham breaks early. Vanderheit will spin and throw to second in time. No, not in time. Under the tag has Horsham into second base. It looked like that ball got there first. It skipped in the dirt, and it caused Applegate to have to bring the glove up to receive it. And sliding in there safely is Ashton Horsham. So he has a stolen base. He stands on second. The 1-1 misses high. They've fixed the scoreboard here in venue that incorrectly displayed 2-0. Now it is 2-1. Vanderheit stares down second, turning his head side to side and comes home. Pitch is right on the outside corner. A well-placed fastball out of the hand of Vanderheit. 2-2 with 2 down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braden Vanderheit comes home, and the pitch is fouled off sky high of us and over into the parking lot, or perhaps back into the seats. Oh my goodness, it dropped right in front of us. It hit the roof, and it scared some fans right in front of us when the ball suddenly came crashing down. 2-2 still to count. Vanderheit delivers a high slider, high of the zone, and the count runs full. Morelli still standing in an at-bat that stretched about 2.5 minutes now. Payoff pitch incoming from the right-handed Vanderheit, with Horsham on second base. The 3-2. Outside fastball, ball 4. Morelli wins the battle. It'll bring up Daniel Bastidas with 2 out and 2 men aboard. Daniel Bastidas, the right-handed hitter, batting in the 5 spot today, the Heartland product. Vanderheit brings the ball set. Fresh count to Bastidas. Long look at second, and now he comes home. First pitch right at the letters for a called strike, dipped into the zone. Got the benefit of the call, and the count's 0-1. A long first inning here in tonight's championship game. The season comes down to this. 0-1, and the pitch is outside, evening the count. Charlie Graham doing the catching today behind the plate for the second game in a row. You wonder if maybe the reflexes are a little bit slower as a result. But he's catching Vanderheit, who delivers the 1-1. And the pitch is low, and just as I say that, the ball gets to the backstop. Under the glove of Graham, and both runners move up a spot each. So second and third. 2-1. And 2 away. And I believe they're going to intentionally walk Daniel Bastidas. I can't imagine what else it would have been. Certainly interesting, but the bases are loaded, and Jake Stewart hits a soft fly ball, shallow left. Ranging over is the shortstop, Jimmy Anderson, and the play is made. So both teams threaten in the first, but the Merchants slightly more significantly. Neither team scores, though, so it doesn't matter in the end. We'll head to the second here in the championship game. Top half of the second as the extended Disney soundtrack continues to play here in the Corn Crib with Once Upon a Fairy Tale Night. We get set for inning number 2. Luke Weber out there once again. He deals the first pitch, which is slammed down the left field line. It'll bounce in front of the left fielder, Jake Stewart, who's able to cut it off and rip it into the infield, but not before Jimmy Anderson has himself a leadoff double, and he ripped that thing down the line. So Charlie Graham will hit next for the ground Sloths, who now have an inning or a hit per inning to show for themselves, but just as the Merchants did not in the first, they have not found a way to get a run up on the board quite yet. Could this be the opportunity? Graham, first pitch. Yes, he went around. And it is a called strike 1 on the slider that dipped away from the hitter, and Graham could not hold up. 0-1 the count. Anderson leading off second base. He's softly held on by Clay Kahn, who now backs off a little bit. Heavy lead by Jimmy Anderson, and now that will force Luke Weber to step off. Weber's going to have a conversation with Clay Kahn, potentially to set something up, but at the same time, if they're having a conversation about it, then it certainly takes away the element of surprise to an extent. Luke Weber will head back to the mound. Clay Kahn back to his second base position. And Jimmy Anderson once again with a semi-aggressive lead. 0-1 the count. And the pitch. Slider, outside corner. That is right on that edge. 0-2 to Charlie Graham, the catcher. Graham played in just 16 games in this regular season. He pops up the 0-2. It's going to fall right next to us here in the booth, clanging down in between a few fans, but it appears everybody's okay. Smiles all around here at the Corn Crib. Oh, and 2 once again to Charlie Graham. Weber stares down second base. Now turns his attention back home. The pitch is grounded right back up the middle. Over the head of Weber. It'll be gloved by the shortstop. Over to first. Not in time. An infield hit for Charlie Graham. Morton had just the slightest bit of trouble with it in his glove. And by the time he rifled it to first base, there was no play to be made. So Graham hustles out the infield hit. And Carter Selk, who did not feature in the semifinal versus the Blue Caps, will now hit with the runners on the corners. Pitch from Weber, outside part of the zone, strike 1. Jimmy Anderson stands on third base. Charlie Graham on the first base bag. And now with hard throw over to first, nearly getting Charlie Graham. And if that throw had been lower, right on that bag, I think they would have had him, because Charlie got a very late start getting back to the first base bag, even with the shorter lead. Weber getting set to deliver the 0-1 in the set position at the mound. He'll come forward with it. Swing and a miss. Fastball on the outside corner, and Selk could not catch up. 0-2. So a strike away from an important first out. If they can get it without the run coming in, it will certainly be a victory in and of itself for this Merchants defense. The 0-2 pitch. Popped up left side. It'll send Jake Stewart back. That should be deep enough. He'll field the ball coming in. Rifles it into the cutoff man, Cody Morton, and the run will score without trouble. Sacrifice fly, 1-0. Charlie Graham, meanwhile, stays on first base, so there's a man on first with 1 out. and the Ground Sloths lead the KCL championship game. 1-0 the score in the top half of the second. Will Applegate, the left-hander, in the box now. He faces the first pitch, which is high. Ball 1. One 0 misses outside. Count moving quickly to 2-0. The pace of play is slowed down here. Luke Weber seems slightly less confident out on the pitcher's mound. And the Ground Sloth sitters have locked in the inning number 2. 2-0 ripped foul toward the on-deck circle where Dalton Hobbick will pick it up. The normal Corn Belters are underway in Peru, Illinois. They're taking on one of the best teams the Prospect League has to offer in the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. We'll throw you a couple updates of that one as we move on here. 2-1 misses outside. Corn Belters still chasing down a playoff spot, but it's going to be a difficult run to sneak into the postseason here in the last week and a half of the year. 3 balls and 1 strike to the Parkland Community College student athlete, Will Applegate. And 3-1 misses outside. Another base runner for the Ground Sloths, who have really settled in here in the second. So Dalton Hobbick, the right-handed hitter, playing center field today. Right field today. He will hit with 1 down. First pitch to Hobbick. Inside, he turned on it, but avoided any contact with the pitch, and it's 1-0. One ball and no strikes. Weber looks at second and comes home. The pitch is once again inside, just about the same spot, and the count's 2-0. We will see a quick pitching change from the Merchants head coach, who's running out onto the field. So 1-0 here as the Ground Sloths threatening with even more offense. We'll see the top of the order after Hobbick's plate appearance has concluded with Blake Crancer and Shea Brozick. So the question becomes, how does Luke Weber respond to the immense pressure he has run himself into? He is behind 2-0 to Dalton Hobbick, who alternates between the 9-hole and the leadoff spot. And here's the 2-0. He rips it left side through the hole into the outfield. Gloved by Jake Stewart. They will hold the slow-running Charlie Graham at third base. It's a single to load the bases. And the Ground Sloths really threatening to break this one open. They haven't gotten the big payoff yet. Can they get it with the top half of their order here? One out, and the count is fresh for Blake Crancer, who stands in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch to Blake. He took a very late swing at it, a defensive swing on the first pitch, and grounds it foul to his first base coach. The count is 0-1. Oh and 1 with one away. Slide step delivery, and the pitch is popped up in the infield. Infield fly rule called. That's huge as Cody Morton makes the play. An incredibly important second out for this Merchant defense, who are going to try to hold the Ground Sloths at just 1 here in the second. Just one out away from doing so. It'll be Shea Brozick, who singled to right center field his first time. He will hit with the bases juiced. First pitch from the right-hander, and it is inside. Brozick kind of frustrated, perhaps, that he didn't just turn and take that pitch. Lifted his arms up and away from it and was content in the moment to take it for ball one. 1-0 the count. Right on right matchup as Luke Weber gets set to deliver. Here's the 1-0. And it is grounded a half swing off to the second base side. The Weber's going to have to come over to make the play, and he's not going to get there. That is a mistake, to say the least, from Nate Reed over at first base, because he did not have to come get that ball. Weber had a long way to cover the bag, and with as softly as that ball was hit, Clay Kahn had plenty of time to come over and make the play. But instead, the first baseman went after it himself, leaving first base unoccupied by the time they got the flip to Luke Weber. Brozick had touched the first base bag. 2-0 in the second. Weber delivers, and the pitch is fly left field, out of play, foul, strike one. Mateo Casillas, the three-hole hitter, grounded to second his last time. That one, of course, being fielded by Clay Kahn and not by Nate Reed. 0-1 to the lefty. Weber hurls it in there. And there's a curveball diving down to the dirt. The slightest bit of a check swing, but it's a very quick signal of no swing from our base umpire, as he didn't really even come close to going around. So Casillas holds up. It's 1-1. Weber brings the ball set at the plate. Comes home with the 1-1. And the pitch is roped up the middle. Oh, you could hear that for miles. 2 runs will score, as Mateo Casillas has broken this one open in inning number 2. It's 4-0. Brozick will hang around on second, and Casillas will stand on first after scoring a couple of runners. It's 4-0 ground Sloths in the second, and some bullpen activity from the Merchants. After the Sloths put hit number 6 up on the scoreboard. Luke Landis trying to keep the party going. First pitch to Landris is low. Curveball diving down low and taken for a ball. Landris with the 1-0 count. And he went around on the slider, chasing him away from the plate. Depending on how you look at things, you could argue the ground Sloths are batted around here in inning number 1. Some people say that the leadoff man needs to come up again. But the 9th hitter of the inning for the Sloths, as Jimmy Anderson, who led off the inning, stands on deck. The 1-1 is crushed into left field, but it was off the end of the bat. It'll die off, and Jake Stewart makes the catch. But a couple of runs, 4 to be, in fact, as the ground Sloths strike first in the KCL Championship 2024. bottom half of the second inning, it'll be Brooks Newhoff to lead off the bottom of the second. How will the Merchants respond after the ground Sloths put up 4 in the top half of the frame? Vanderheit out there for inning number 2, and he misses high with the first pitch curveball. Vanderheit in great position to lead his team to a victory, but the defense will have to stay intact. 2-0 after the pitch misses low. Newhoff batting in the 7 spot today. 7, 8, 9 due up, and Newhoff skies the ball on the right field. Not deep, and Habeck will drift over to the corner to make the catch. There is 1 out in the bottom half of the second. Soft contact. Yes, it can get out there, but you'll certainly take it with no one on. Nate Reed, who extended the last inning to a little bit of a miscommunication with his the right side of the infield. He will bat now with 1 away. And he takes a pitch outside. Merchants trying to find a response. The 1-0 is at the knees. A called strike to the first baseman batting in the 8 spot today. Slight shift on the right side of the infield. Will Applegate a couple steps into right. And the 1-1 in the right spot, same spot on the inner half, right at the knees, a fastball called strike 2. So the count's 1-1, or 1-2 rather. Vanderheit. And that ball is ripped down the right field line, right on the foul line, fair ball. Reed is going to take an aggressive turnaround second. The throw will come in on one hop from Habeck, under the glove of the shortstop, and it will roll into left field. Nate Reed is going to turn around third. They're going to try to score him, and it's not going to be close. He'll score without a throw. This is the KCL championship. It's 4-1. Nate Reed has given the Merchants some life with one of the oddest scoring plays that I've ever seen. A Little League home run in the bottom half of inning number 2. So 4-1. And Vanderheit will try to respond after that one. E9 up on the scoreboard. Habeck's low throw sent it into left. And there's a ball. And it's a difficult situation because as the third baseman, Shea Brozick can't really back up the throw. As that pitch is hit softly into shallow center. Going back and just over the head of Jimmy Anderson. That ball gets down. It's a base hit. But it's a difficult play on the last one because Brozick can't back up that play because he's got to be on the third base bag in case there's a reason for the runner to go to third. Of course, that reason came. But now he scores because there was no one to back up the play. So Noah Company, the 9-hole hitter, leads off first base after the 1-out single. Clay Kahn, he also swings aggressively at the first pitch, hits it into the seats, a strike to begin the at-bat. Kahn flew out into right field, or right center, rather, to begin the bottom half of the first inning. That pitch skips in the dirt. It's over the head of the catcher, and it backs all the way to the backstop. Moving from first all the way to third is Noah Company. Charlie Graham never saw it. It bounced high in the air, so he never saw it when scanning behind him for the loose baseball. And Company goes first to third. So the mound visit has concluded. We apologize for the technical difficulties there. As Clay Kahn will once again take his spot in the left-handed batter's box. The lights are not yet on here in the ballpark, but I suspect that that will change shortly. Oh, and look at that. It must be some sort of magician. The 1-1. Just off the outside edge. Taken for a ball. 2-1 the count. Vanderheit coming set at the mound. The right-hander lifts the leg up and comes forward. And the pitch is ripped right at the second baseman. They will throw to third to try to double off company. He gets back standing up just in time. Clay Kahn hit that ball hard, but right at the second baseman, and it was caught by Will Applegate. 2 away. So it'll be Ashton Horsham batting with 2 down and a man on third. First pitch from Vanderheit is on the outside corner, taken for strike 1. So it puts Vanderheit ahead in the count here. No balls, 1 strike. To the 2-hole hitting Horsham in the left-handed batter's box. Little platoon advantage here with 2 away. The pitch is high, it evens the count. Count even at 1, and the right-hander comes home, and the pitch is outside. The hitter takes the advantage. Horsham up 2-1 on the count. Infield set to receive a ground ball. 2 balls and a strike. And right off the outside corner is that fastball. Horsham up 3-1 in the count. And it will be Braden Vanderheit who has to try to work his way back into this one. Trying to limit the damage. They still have a 3-run lead. And the pitch. Off the outside part of the plate. It's a walk on 5 pitches. And Horsham will reach for the second time today. So Cody Morton batting third in this lineup. Blew out in the first inning. And will hit in a big spot for the Merchants. Trying to respond to the 4th spot put up by the Sloths. First pitch, runner on the move. The pitch outside, there will not be a throw. And Horsham will take second via defensive indifference. Pitch ripped foul on the 1-0. It was hit hard down the left field line, but about a yardstick's length wide of the bag, also known as a yard. We count 1-1. Vanderheit comes forward and skips the pitch in there low of the zone. 2-1 as the pitch bounced into the gear of Charlie Graham, who holds firm and makes the stop. 2 balls and a strike from the windup now. Vanderheit delivers, and the pitch is flied right side. Heading toward the foul line, getting called off by the second baseman, Will Applegate, is Casillas. Applegate makes the catch in foul ground, and it retires the side. 1 run put up by the Merchants offense. We'll head to the third. It's 4-1 here in Normal. back here for the third, and a first pitch strike in there to Jimmy Anderson, who leads off the third just as he did the second. First pitch strike in there to the Heartland product. And Luke Weber will deal the 0-1, which is hit into right field. It's going to die out. Charging in on it and making the catch is Noah Company. Clay Kahn really got a good beat out there, and they almost collided in right field. But Company called him off at the last moment. There's one away. A productive start to the inning for the Merchants defense, who will be looking for a much cleaner third than the second was. The first pitch hit into right center field. Charging his Company, going to the ground, making the catch. 2 away. The right fielder showing off the glove here in inning number 3. Impressive to retire the 6-hole hitter. It'll be Carter Selk, the designated hitter, batting for the Sloths. 2 outs. First pitch, outside corner, called strike 1. Moving very quickly. From the windup, here he goes, and the pitch is popped up left side, just on the edge of the infield, and it's caught by Cody Morton. 1, 2, 3 go the ground Sloths in inning number 3, and we will head to the bottom half. When we return, the Merchants will try to carve into the deficit. So after a lightning fast top half of the third, it's one of those blink and you'll miss it type of innings, we head to the bottom half where the Merchants come back up to the dish wearing the light blues, trying to carve into the deficit that the ground Sloths have set for them. The Sloths lead 4-1. Coming up on near the halfway stage of this championship game. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters. So the Merchants trying to chalk up a couple runs and get back into it. And Luca Morelli has certainly started that off well. He ropes the ball down the left field line. It clangs off the fence on the near side. 1-2 hop throw into the cutoff. And it is a sliding double to lead off the inning for Luca Morelli. He has really been seeing the ball well for this Merchant team as of late and over the course of the season as a whole, hitting an even .333 in the regular season. Daniel Bastidas will bat now with the man in scoring position. First pitch from Vanderheit is ripped into left field. That one is going way back near the track. Carter Selk is going to have the room 2 or 3 feet in front of the warning track. It sounded louder than it maybe deserved to be, as it fell a decent margin short of the fence, but a decent rip out there, but caught for the first out of the inning. So 1 out and a man still on second. Jake Stewart, the Merchants left fielder, will take to the bats, and he watches the first pitch miss outside. Luca Morelli unable to tag up on that fly ball. He still stands at second base with 1 down. 1-0, Vanderheit stares down second, now comes home and just misses the inside corner with the fastball. Wisely taken by Stewart, and the count is 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. And Stewart calls time just as Vanderheit was getting into his motion. Vanderheit still delivered the baseball kind of half-heartedly, and it went all the way to the backstop. So Jake Stewart still waiting to see a strike here in this at-bat. 2-0 pitch upcoming, and here it is, and it is high. 3-0 quickly to count. Vanderheit trying to find some composure here. 3 balls, no strikes. Brings the leg up and comes home and misses low and away. 4-pitch walk to Jake Stewart. Some action still in the Merchants bullpen. Difficult to see numbers out there, but I believe that that's Zach Diver, the left-hander. But I could very well be incorrect. So don't trust me. Don't trust me, folks. 1 out, 2 on. Newhoff will hold his swing on the first pitch that heads back to the backstop. Both runners will move up. And first base now unoccupied as the runners move to second and third on the first pitch. They're going to appeal down to first base. They're going to say no swing, which was the right call. Brooks Newhoff ahead of the count, 1-0. And the job now that much more difficult for this ground Sloths defense. First pitch, or the 1-0 rather, in there for a strike to Newhoff, who was right down in the heart of the plate. One the count. Vanderheit stares down second, brings the left leg up and comes forward. The pitch is popped up. Foul territory. Tracking it is the first baseman Casillas. He's under it and makes the catch in foul territory. Important second out. The runners hold places. And Nate Reed will be the next to hit. Vanderheit staring down Nate Reed. The first pitch to the right, or to the first baseman is on the outside corner for a called strike. Reed playing his collegiate ball at Monmouth College. Faces the 0-1, and it's hit hard to the shortstop on 2 hops. Anderson fields it. Across the diamond, in time. They strand a couple on, and we will head to the 4th. 4-1, the ground Sloths holding their advantage. Fourth inning here at the Corn Crib in Normal, Illinois. The ground Sloths trying to pad on some insurance as we get ever so closer to the halfway point of this ballgame. First pitch from the new man on the mound, and it is low and away, skipping in the dirt on the way to Bastidas. I was looking down at the bullpen. I saw number 9. I traced it to Zach Diver. It was number 9. It was not Zach Diver. Mason Walker out on the mound now. The lefty will throw and find the zone on the 1-0 to even the count at 1. Mason, normally wearing number 25 for this ground Sloths team, has thrown 16 innings this season. He misses well outside with the 1-1 pitch. And Applegate hitting for the second time today, but trying to make his first at-bat as he walked his first time. And he will certainly do that here. He rips the ball into right center. It will hang up for Horsham, but it was tagged really, really well. So he does get his at-bat. He's just now 0 for 1. So Will pass the torch to Dalton Hobbick, who singled to left his first time. An RBI single. And he faces the first pitch from Walker. It's at the knees for a called strike. The 0-1 is low. Evens the count at 1. Hobbick hitting a ground ball through the left side of the infield, just getting past Cody Morton. And now the 1-1, gloved nicely by Bastidas on a hop. With kind of like a hockey goalie making a swift glove save. The 2-1 is hit hard into right field. Moving over to cover in the gap is Company, and he will make the catch. And there are now 2 away in the top half of the fourth after a couple of flyouts to the right side of the outfield. It'll be Blake Crancer as this lineup turns over for the third time. Speaking of flyouts, Blake Crancer's hit a couple into the air, however not deep. One popped up to the first baseman, one popped up to the shortstop. He watches the first pitch nail him, actually. It was a slider. It looked to be on the inner half of the plate, tailed in, and continued to fight its way into the batter's box until it nicked Blake Crancer on the back foot. So he'll reach via a hit by pitch. And there's now 1 on with 2 outs. Brozick will hit with 2 away. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. He watches the first pitch. A fastball, low and in. If it was a slider, it probably would have hit him just as the previous pitch hit his teammate. He's ahead at 1-0 in the count. Brozick will be followed up by Casillas and Landris if we get there. Quick throw over to first. Left-handed pickoff move from Walker. The count remains 1-0. Crancer with another lead. He will go now. They throw to first. Nate Reed with the quick exchange down to second base in time. Quality infield defensive work between the pitcher and the first baseman. And, of course, give Cody Morton credit for getting to second base and slapping down a good tag as well. So they get out of any number 4. We'll head to the bottom half when we return here on the Colonel's Collegiate League YouTube network. the bottom of the fourth we go here in the 2024 KCL Championship game. A first pitch high and maybe a tad outside as well to Noah Company, batting in the 9 spot in right field today for the Merchants. Facing the 1-0 now. It's right down the heart of the plate, out of the hand of Braden Vanderheit. Vanderheit has run into some trouble getting out of a couple of jams, but just one run against him today. The even count pitch is low, 2-1. Vanderheit has held this defense strong in times of peril, trying to lead them to a championship. Company fouls off the 2-1. It hooks out of play, and the count even once again at 2. Company will be followed up by the top of the order in Kahn, Horsham, and Morton. But first, Noah Company to finish that bat. The 2-2 misses high. Pitch from Vanderheit on the full count. Misses high and outside. A leadoff walk for Noah Company, who's now reached base both plate appearances. Singled his first time and now has walked to begin the fourth. Clay Kahn, the next to hit in the left-handed batter's box. Vanderheit will look to respond after the tough start to the inning. First pitch from Braden. Kahn squares the bunt, pops it into the screen, strike 1. 0-1 to the leadoff man, playing second base today. Kahn facing down the 0-1, but instead spinning to first is Vanderheit, who will check on Company. The right fielder slides in safely. And the ball back in the glove of the starting pitcher. The right-hander with the right foot on the mound. Brings his left leg forward with the slide step and just misses the zone. The count moves even to 1-1. Still no one out here in the bottom half of the fourth. Kahn followed up by Horsham and Morton in this order. 1-1 pitch. Running on the pitch is Company. The pitch is in there for a strike. High throw down to second. Did they still get the tag in? No, they did not. Company got his left foot on the bag just in time. Better throw would have had him. But a stolen base and a runner in scoring position for the Merchants offense. 1-2 the count after the pitch was in there. 1-2. Outside, count is even at 2 apiece. Two balls, 2 strikes, no one out. And the infield set to receive. The 2-2 fouled off. Clay Kahn with a defensive swing, if I've ever seen one, just pushing it foul, staying alive. One more pitch. Another 2-2 upcoming. Kahn digging into the left-handed batter's box. Vanderheit checks on second. And now we'll come home. And the pitch is ripped down the right field corner. Will it stay fair? It hooks toward the foul pole. No, it will not. An absolute bomb of a line drive by Clay Kahn that made it 300 of the 315 feet out to the right field corner, but just foul. So we will do another 2-2 as a new ball is in play. The outfielders have returned to their positions, and Vanderheit is now set. He'll come forward with the 2-2. It's a curveball that hooks in there. Gets the top of the zone. Clay Kahn cannot believe it. He's having a conversation, a short conversation, which is probably a smart thing, with the home plate umpire. It's one of those pitches that a curveball on the top part of the zone does not deserve to be called a strike because it means that the pitcher threw it wrong. But Regardless, it sneaks down and finds its way just nestled into the strike zone right at the letters. And there's one down. First pitch, high and outside to Ashton Horsham. Horsham batting in the 2 spot for the Merchants. Has reached both times today. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Right on left matchup. The pitch to Ashton upcoming. And it is low, 2-0. Pump fake from Charlie Graham to force Company to hustle back into second base. 2-0 count. Left-hander back in the box. 2-0 pitch. The pitch is skied into right center field. It will fall short, and Dalton Hobbick will make the catch. Rifles it in on one hop to the cutoff man at shortstop and Jimmy Anderson. There's 2 away. Additionally, it holds Noah Company at second base. So the runner remains on second with 2 out here in the bottom half of the 4th. First pitch to Cody Morton, and it is swung on and missed. The curveball curled away from the hitter, and he went after it anyway. Vanderheit getting set to come forward with the 0-1. And it is grounded foul. Quick check-in on the Normal Corn Belters in Peru against the Pistol Shrimp. It's been a delightful start. They currently have the bases loaded, where they lead 5-0 over one of the Prospect League's best. They've used a couple of errors from this Pistol Shrimp defense to score even more in the second. High pitch on the 0-2 to Cody Morton. The Belters have loaded the bases against Illinois Valley with no one out in both the first and second innings. 1-2 pitch. Going after it is Morton. He swings and misses, and he is tagged by Charlie Graham to end the inning. We will head to inning number 5. Adam Hipsky will take us the rest of the way, and we will crown a champion right here on the Colonels Collegiate League and Normal Corn Belters YouTube network. It is the 2024 Colonels Collegiate League Championship game.
Top of the 5th, we've reached the halfway point. It's the 2024 KCL Championship. The Ground Sloths lead the Merchants 4-1. The 2-3-4 hitters due up for Mason Walker in his second inning out of the pen, starting with the MVP Shea Brozick, who's 2 for 2 with an RBI. He steps in the right-handed batter's box. Walker kicks and fires, and a first pitch strike on the outside corner at the knees. A fastball off the left hand of Walker, and the count's 0-1. Ground Sloths tacked on 4 in the top of the second. Merchants responded with 1. 0-1. Gets away from Bastidas. It was up and away. But the base is clear. The count's just 1-1. 6'1" sophomore, committed to Loras College. The 1-1. This is outside at the belt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Brozek heading to a Division III in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, after playing 2 years at Danville Area Community College. The 2-1. Fouled straight back into the screen. The count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes to the third baseman. Sporting a .427 average, complemented by a .462 on-base percentage. Out of the windup, Walker goes plateward, and it's hit in the air down for a base hit in front of the center fielder, Ashton Horsham. So a leadoff single for Shea Brozek. He's 3 for 3 with a trio of singles, and the Ground Sloths, who lead it 4-1, have their leadoff man aboard in the top of the 5th. And now Mateo Casillas, who's 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI single in the second. Now steps in the left side, 5'11", 205-pound freshman from SIU Edwardsville. Brozek a short lead off of first, being held on by Reed. Walker set at the belt, out of the stretch. Called strike on the outside corner. A nice fastball at the knees, and the count's 0-1 to Casillas. Grounded out to the second baseman in the first inning and had the 2 RBI single in the second. Left on left the matchup. The 0-1. This is down and in. Slider that continued to tail at the feet of Casillas, and the count's a ball and a strike. Ground Sloths in search of their second KCL championship. The 1-1 offering. It's grounded on a couple of hops, smeared on the backhand by Morton. He goes to second for 1. The relay to first, not in time to get Casillas. So a 6-4 fielder's choice will cut down Brozek, and Casillas will be the lone runner at first. It was sharply hit right at the shortstop. And Morton at least gloves it for 1. Now the first pitch to the designated hitter, Luke Landris. It's a change-up that misses up and away at the letters. A ball and no strikes. Landris 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out. Casillas dancing off the bag at first. Here's the 1-0 offer. This is up and away once again. 2 balls, no strikes. That one a fastball from Walker. Relieving Luke Weber, who drew the start, went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. They were all earned. The 2-0. Called strike on the inside corner. A fastball. And the count works 2-1. Landris 1 for 3 with an RBI double in game 1. That elimination game versus the Blue Caps. They got him here. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and it's a fly ball right field. Perfectly played by Company. He takes a step in and a step to the left, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 away, just 1 runner on. Ground Sloths lead at 4-1 in the top of the 5th. Jimmy Anderson doubled and scored in the second and flew out to the right fielder in the third. Noah Company's had a heavy dosage out there in right field. That was his 5th putout of the evening. First pitch to Anderson. Out of the stretch. Anderson looks at a first pitch strike on the outer half. A change up and the count's 0-1. 6 foot, 175-pound rising freshman heading to Heartland Community College. The 0-1 from Walker. Hit in the air and out of play. Heading towards the right field seats. And through 2 pitches, Jimmy Anderson is behind, no balls, 2 strikes. 1 for 1 with 3 RBIs. The 7-4 victory over the Blue Caps in the elimination game that moved them to the championship. Here's the 0-2. Fastball outside. Anderson looks at ball 1. And Casillas returns to first. Still being held on by Nate Reed. Morton a few steps back. Shortstop over there with both feet in the outfield grass. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball right side. Foul territory. Company gives chase and then realizes it'll be out of play. Slows on the gas and count remains 1-2 to the shortstop Anderson. Walker gets a new ball from home plate umpire Mike Wise. And he is back on the rubber, telling the first base side. Right foot over left. Set at the belt. Comes home, the 1-2. The changeup gets away from him. It was way above the zone for Anderson. Came in about eye level. The count's 2-2. Anderson hitting .290 this summer for Peyton Dillingham and the Ground Sloths. 2-2, 2 away. Casillas on first. Here's the delivery. Popped up left side. The third baseman Newhoff comes into the infield grass. Now moves over to foul territory. He'll make the one-handed squeeze above his shoulder for the third out of the inning. So a leadoff single is stranded for the Ground Sloths. No runs on one hit. No errors in the field for the Merchants. They still trail 4-1. They've got a chance to cut into that deficit on the other side. 4-5-6 due up for the Merchants. Bottom of the fifth, Adam Hipsky here at the Corn Crib KCL Championship between the Ground Sloths and the Merchants. Ground Sloths lead it 4-1, but due up for the Merchants in attempt to cut into that 3-run deficit. The 4-5-6 hitters, starting with the designated hitter Luca Morelli. Braden Vanderheit returns to the hill. He's out for his fifth inning of work after drawing the start for Braden for Peyton Dillingham. And the first matchup will be right on right. Vanderheit to Morelli, who's 1 for 1 with a walk and a double. Doubled his last time up. Merchants trail it 4-1. Vanderheit out of the windup. First pitch called strike at the knees. A breaking ball that clipped the outer half of the plate. And the count's 0-1 to Morelli. Vanderheit working quickly. He kicks and delivers. Another breaking ball, but this one tails away from Morelli. He looks at ball one, and the count's a ball and a strike now to the designated hitter from Illinois Wesleyan. Here's the 1-1. Grounded left side, fielded on a hop by Anderson. He fires across the diamond to first. Casillas gloves it, and it's in time for out number one, a 6-3 putout. And now that brings up the right-handed catcher, Daniel Bastidas, who's 0 for 1. He was intentionally walked to load the bases in the first. Merchants were unable to put anything on the board. Their lone run came in the bottom of the second. Vanderheit out of the windup. Goes home. This is up and in. A changeup just below the letters, and the count's 1-0. Ball and no strikes, the offering. In at the knees, but misses inside and counts 2-0. Vanderheit working quickly, towing the first base side of the rubber, and now Bastidas calls time to home plate umpire Mike Wise, who signals we're ready to go back to Vanderheit. Here's the 2-0. Lined left side, and it's through the glove of Brozek into left field. A one-out single for Bastidas. And the Merchants have their first man on in the bottom of the fifth, still trailing 4-1. Just tipped off the glove of Brozek. And now the lone runner over there on first, and that brings up the left-handed left fielder, Jake Stewart. Here's the first pitch to him. Just misses the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Stewart 0 for 1 with a walk in the third. Third time to the dish. 1-0, runner on first. Vanderheit out of the stretch, shakes a couple of times, now delivers. It's a slider that moves away from Jake Stewart, ends in the right-handed batter's box. Tough pitch to lay off of, but Jake Stewart holds that swing, and the count's 2-0 to the left fielder from Lakeland Community College. Here's the 2-0. Hit in the air left side, curling towards foul territory. The left fielder Carter Selk's over. He dives and makes the grab. A nice play by the left fielder Carter Selk, and there's 2 away for the Ground Sloths defense. Brings up Brooks Newhoff, the righty swinging third baseman, who's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a pop out. Score still 4-1. Ground Sloths lead it. KCL Championship. Merchants in search of their first ever title. Ground Sloths trying to win their second in 3 years. Vanderheit set at the belt. Goes home. Misses up and in, and it actually hit Newhoff. Nicked him on the left elbow. And that puts 2 on with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. A mistake pitch from Vanderheit. That was his 81st pitch of the evening. So an arm starting to loosen in the Ground Sloths bullpen. It's Lucas Frank. Here's the first pitch to Nate Reed, who lifts it into right, and it's fielded by Dalton Hobbick in the air for out number 3. So a 1-out single and a 2-out hit by pitch. No problem for Braden Vanderheit. Nice start for him in the KCL Championship. They still lead 4-1 to the top of the 6th. We're nearing the end. Merchants got to find a time to cut into it. Mason Walker, who is the first call out of the pen for Tanner Scheiber in the 2024 KCL Championship, returns to the mound. He's gone 2 innings so far, giving up just 1 hit, no runs, but the starter Luke Weber put them in the hole. Ground Sloths lead it 4-1, and now the 6, 7, 8 hitters are due up for the Sloths as they look to extend their 3-run advantage. Walker's set at the logo, brings it down to the belt, and he goes home. First pitch, swung, and it's a comebacker to the pitcher. Walker takes a few steps over to the first base bag. Underhand flips to Nate Reed, and it's in time for the first out of the inning. Charlie Graham's been swinging a hot bat, but unable to put the swing that he wanted on one in that at-bat. And that brings up the left-handed left fielder, Carter Selk, who did his job in his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch to him, and it kicks away from the backstop. Bastidas for ball 1. Selk had an RBI sac fly in the second inning. That was when the Ground Sloths sent 9 to the plate. The 1-out just misses below the zone. 2 balls, no strikes to Selk. Popped out to the shortstop his last time up in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the 2-0. Once again, misses downstairs. 3 balls, no strikes to the left fielder. Bottom of the 6th, Ground Sloths lead it 4-1. The delivery Lined over the glove of Nate Reed. It's into shallow right field. Kahn fields it, but the pitcher Walker was over to cover the bag. Wasn't there in time to make a throw. And on a 3-0 count, Carter Selk has a line drive single off the glove of Nate Reed. A man aboard for the Ground Sloths, who lead it 4-1, and that brings up the left-handed second baseman Will Applegate, 6'3" freshman from Parkland, who collects himself outside of the batter's box. Now steps in, taps the plate once, stares into the lefty Walker's eyes. Left on left, the matchup. Walker out of the stretch. First pitch, up and in. Applegate had to retreat out of the box after that one continued to ride in at the shoulders. Reed holding on Selk at first. Middle infield at double play depth. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball paints the outer half. Called strike. 1-1 the count. Nice pitch from Walker. Trying to work around the 1-out single. Selk takes a few paces off the bag at first. Here's the 1-1. Applegate loaded it up like he was going to swing, but holds it a nice breaking ball that dots the outside corner, and the call is a strike. 1-2 the count. Walker sets himself on the hill. Goes over to first, and Selk's back standing. Walker continues to toe the first base side of the rubber. Brings it down to the belt. Sends it down the hill. Breaking ball, hides Chopper. Left side, bouncing foul and out of play. Had it stayed fair, that would have been a tough play for either of the three that converged on it. It was Newhoff from third, Walker off the mound, and Bastidas the catcher. But a break for the Merchants as they continue to let it roll foul. And the count remains a ball and 2 strikes to the second baseman Applegate. 277 average with a 364 on base percentage. 1 on, 1 out. 4-1 Ground Sloths lead it. KCL championship. Out of the stretch. Walker misses with a breaking ball, and it gets away from Bastidas. Runner goes late, the throw down to second. It's into center field. Selk slid in feet first, so he'll stop at second. It was not a steal, so he's going to reach on. They're going to call a passed ball. It was barely away from Bastidas. He retrieved it quickly, but heads up base running from Selk. He takes second. He's the lone base runner over there, 180 feet away with 1 out. Here's the 2-2 to Applegate. Upstairs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Applegate walked and scored in the second. That was in the inning that Ground Sloths scored their 4 runs. They sent 9 to the plate. Flew out to center his last time up in the 4th. Here's the payoff from Walker. It misses downstairs, and it gets through the legs of Bastidas, and it'll roll to the backstop. Selk moves from second to third, and Applegate will take a jog down the first base line, where he'll be met by first base coach Drew Kahn. Runners on the corners, and just 1 out, and that brings up the number 9 hitter, Dalton Hobick, who's 1 for 2. He also singled and scored in the second. Selk on third, Applegate on first. 4-1, Sloths lead it. In the driver's seat here to collect their second KCL championship in 3 years. First offering, runner goes to second, bounces in the dirt, and Applegate's in without a throw. 2 in scoring position now. Selk on third, Applegate on second. The right-handed right fielder, Dalton Hobick, right now with a 1-0 count on. Walker back set at the logo. Out of the windup, he kicks and deals. Cut on and miss, and it bounces away from Bastidas once again, but it heads down the third base line, so he walks Selk back to third, and the count's 1-1 to Hobick. And now, quick meeting between second baseman Clay Kahn and the left-handed pitcher Mason Walker, and with that meeting, the batter, Dalton Hobick, will also walk down the third base line and get some coaching from his manager and third base coach, Peyton Dillingham. A ball and a strike, 1 away, 2 on, both in scoring position. Selk takes a few paces off the bag at third. He's in foul territory. Out of the windup, here's Walker. A slider that continues to tail in at the knees of Hobbick, and a ball from home plate umpire Mike Wise, and the count's 2-1. Slight advantage to Hobbick. Here's the offering. Called strike. This one at the knees, but it was across the heart of the plate. And the count's 2-2. Dalton, 6'1" freshman from Kankakee Community College, trying to add on to this 3-run lead. Here's the 2-2. Cut on and missed. A huge breaking ball from Mason Walker, and there's 2 away, and the lineup card turns over for Blake Crancer, who will step in for the 4th time in 6 innings. Crancer 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch his last time up. Still runners in scoring position. First pitch, grounded foul, left side. No balls, 1 strike to Crancer. 14 RBIs, 1 home run. Selk on third, he singled. Applegate on second, he walked. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Grounded left side through the hole for a base hit. Peyton Dillingham gives the windmill to Applegate, who scores from second. And a 2-out, 2 RBI single gives the Ground Sloths a 6-1 lead in the top of the 6th. And they are inching closer and closer to another KCL championship under the lights at the Corn Crib. The leadoff man doing his job, and now that brings up the MVP Shea Brozek. With 2 away, Crancer the lone base runner on first. The offering on the inside corner, called strike, 0-1. Crancer being held on by Nate Reed. Walker set at the belt. Out of the stretch, hit in the air, center field. Horsham's back on it, continuing to work towards the wall, and makes the grab over the shoulder while on the move. So, the Ground Sloths tack on a couple, courtesy of a 2-out, 2 RBI single from the leadoff man, Blake Crancer. 2 hits, 2 runs, no errors in the field for the Merchants. We'll turn it to the bottom of the 6th. A 6-1 lead for the Ground Sloths here in the 2024 KCL Championship. Bottom of the 6th, we very well might have seen the Ground Sloths take their last hacks of the 2024 season. They lead the championship game 6-1, 9-1-2 due up for the Merchants as they continue to try and claw their way back into this one. They have never led here under the lights. Saturday night at the ballpark. Braden Vanderhyde out of the windup. First pitch, fastball lifted into shallow left field. The shortstop Anderson's under it. He continues to work across the white painted line into foul territory and makes the snag shoulder height for out number 1. A nice play ranging all the way from short. It's even playing towards the second base bag prior to the pitch. But there's 1 away, and the lineup card turns over now to the switch-hitting second baseman, Clay Kahn, who will face the righty Braden Vanderhyde, who kicks and delivers. Looks at a first pitch strike. First pitch ball on the outside edge, and the count's 1-0. Back to the windup. Hit in the air left side. Foul territory once again. This one for the third baseman Brozick. He makes the grab. There's 2 away. So not a good start for the Merchants, who are trying to get back into this one. 2 up, 2 down. Now the left-handed center fielder Ashton Horsham, who just made a nice play defensively in the top of the 6th, digs in the left side. Looks at a first pitch strike on the inside corner. And the count's 0-1. Vanderheit set the letters, brings it below the belt, now goes home. And Horsham looks at another strike. Dots the inner half. 0-2. Horsham 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. The 0-2 offering. Check swing. Did he go? No, he didn't. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The appeal down to third base umpire D. Ray Tucker. Assisting him across the diamond is Jeff Mozingo. Here's the 1-2 from Vanderheit. Hit on the ground right side. Applegate a few steps back, gloves it, throws it, and it's out of the way for Casillas and bounces off the first base dugout. So an E4 keeps the frame alive for the Merchants offense, who lead it 6-1, or who trail it 6-1 rather, in the bottom of the 6th. And that's why it's so important to retire the top of this order while you can, because Horsham has 25 stolen bases this season. Out of the stretch, Vanderheit gets set at the belt. Horsham off the bag at first, takes a secondary lead. Here's the offering. Hit in the air left side. Foul territory once again, playable for Brozick, and he makes the grab. So, the error on Applegate deems uncostly. We'll turn it to the top of the 7th. Last chance for the Ground Sloths to add on to their 5-run lead. We've played 6 at the Corn Crib for the KCL Championship. The Ground Sloths in the driver's seat. They lead at 6-1. Last chance for them to add on to that advantage. And 3-4-5 will swing it, starting with the left-handed first baseman, Mateo Casillas. Mason Walker back out on the mound. The only reliever for the Merchants in this game, relieving the starter Luke Weber, who went 3 innings. Home-plate umpire Mike Weiss signals, let's go to Mason Walker. First pitch, he kicks and deals. And Casillas looks at a first pitch strike in at the knees on the outer half. Counts 0-1. Walker, his only blemish came in the last inning. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball. Notches the zone, and through 2 pitches, Casillas behind 0-2. First baseman, 1 for 3 with a 2 RBI single. Here's the 0-2. Cut on and missed. Foul tipped is the call at the plate. It looked like Casillas had completely swung through that one. Bounced off Bastidas. Walker certainly got him to chase out of the zone. It was downstairs, but count still 0-2. Base is clear, nobody out. The offering is hit in the air, fly ball, left field. Stewart's under it. He makes the grab above his head for out number 1. looking for a quiet inning from the ground sloths and then turning it to the offense. 4-5-6 due up for the Merchants in the bottom of the 7th. Just 7 innings here in the KCL. We're in the championship game, and here's the first pitch to the right-hander, Luke Landris. Foul tipped in the glove of Bacidas, strike 1. Landris, 6'2", 180-pound rising freshman heading to Illinois. He's behind 0-1. Walker delivers. Just misses the outside corner, ball 1. Landris is 0 for 3. Fly out to both of the corner outfielders. Walker steps off the mound. Wants to regroup, reset, collect himself. He set at the logo, and he sends it down the hill. Grounded up the middle, Kahn ranges over to the bag, and he makes a throw across his body for out number 2. That brings up Jimmy Anderson, who started this game on a hot note, led off the bottom of the top of the 2nd, and had a double, and that sparked what eventually set 9 hitters to the plate. Put on that 4 spot in the top of the 2nd. Now they lead at 6-1. Here's the first pitch to Anderson. Out of the windup. This is down and in. Ball 1. Base is clear. 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Ground Sloths 3 outs away from a KCL title. The 1-0. Hit in the air. Right field. Towards the track. Company looks up. It's off the wall. Anderson's hustling into second. He takes the turn. He's going for third. The throw all the way from left to third is on line. Is it in time? No, it's not. Anderson safe with a 2-out triple. That was a laser from Company. And Anderson hustled out of the box right away. And he made it all the way to third, and there's 2 outs, but a runner just 90 feet away for the catcher Charlie Graham, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Scored a run back in the 2nd. Tanner Schreiber comes out to appeal the call to home plate umpire Mike Wise. He's unhappy, but right now he's got to be even more unhappy with the offensive output that his team has produced here tonight. 6-1 ground Sloths lead it. Here's the first pitch to Graham. Grounded foul. It bounced off Graham's left leg, and the count's 0-1. Left on right the matchup. Graham looking to extend the inning and bring home his buddy that's down at third, Jimmy Anderson. This will be Mason Walker's 60th pitch. The 0-1. Tapped foul. Back into the screen, and the count is 0-2. Carter Soak is on deck. 1 for 3 with a single. The 0-2. Bounces in the dirt off the chest of Bacidas, but doesn't get far. Ball 1. 6-1 ground Sloths lead it. They took that advantage in the top of the 2nd and have not looked back. Merchants responded in the bottom of the 2nd with just 1 run, but ground Sloths continue to control. Here's the offering. The slider continues to move in at the knees of Charlie Graham. He looks at ball 2. Counts even 2-2 to the backstop, who's hitting .292 this summer. Trying to add some insurance. The 2-2 gets away from Bacidas and bounces off the backstop. Anderson trots in from 90 feet. And another run on the board for the ground Sloths. They now lead it 7-1. Even more insurance for whoever comes out to finish it in the bottom of the 7th. Not sure if it'll be Vanderheit. His pitch count has reached 89. Here's the payoff with 2 away to Graham. Swing and a miss. It took Graham off of his feet, but he's hustling back to the dugout. Put his catching gear on and try and finish the job. A KCL championship is on the line, and it's on the other side. Stick with us. Ground Sloths trying to finish the job. Colonel's Collegiate League title on the line. The Ground Sloths just 3 outs away. Welcome back at the Corn Crib, Adam Hipsky. Above home plate, slanted down the first base line. Merchants sending their 4, 5, 6 hitters to face the righty Braden Vanderheit, who drew the start and has been phenomenal for Peyton Dillingham in the aspirations to bring a second title in 3 years back to the Ground Sloths. Righty, lefty due up in the forms of Luca Morelli, Daniel Bastidas, and Jake Stewart. They need a crooked number in the bottom of the 7th to just keep this game alive. Just 7 innings to play here in the KCL. Ground Sloths lost on Thursday night to the Merchants, now have a chance to climb through the losers bracket and complete the journey and pick up a title. Luca Morelli taps the plate a couple of times in the right-handed batter's box. Vanderheit out of the windup. First pitch, grounded foul. It was off the leg of Morelli, and the count is 0-1 to the designated hitter, who's 1 for 3 with a walk and a double. Grounded out to the shortstop his last time up in the 5th. No balls, 1 strike. The base is clear. Ground Sloths lead at 6-1. Vanderheit kicks and fires. Called strike, a breaking ball at the knees, and through 2 pitches, Morelli behind 0-2. Morelli 21 RBIs and a home run this summer. The 0-2. Cut on and miss. Drop third strike, the throw down from Graham. Plenty of time, and it's in time. So 1 away. Ground Sloths now just 2 outs away from picking up another KCL title. Now the right-handed catcher Daniel Bastidas, who leads the Merchants in strikeouts. He's been punched out 24 times this summer. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Out of the windup, here's the pitch. A slider dives away from Bastidas, and the count is 1-0. A tough pitch to lay off. A slider that started in the zone and worked away. Here's the 1-0. Lined foul and into the bullpen down the left field line. Lucas Frank is warming for the Ground Sloths. We'll see if Braden Vanderheit can finish the job, though. A ball and a strike. The base is clear, 1 away. Bottom of the 7th. Vanderheit, the offering. Hit in the air, shallow right field. Havoc's in, and it drops in front of him and gets past, but Krantzer's there to back it up. So a base hit, perfectly placed from Bastidas. Nice job from the center fielder Krantzer, preventing extra bases. And a 1-out single for the Merchants, trying to chip into this 6-run deficit. Ground Sloths still lead at 7-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Now the lefty swinging left fielder, Jake Stewart, 0 for 2 with a couple of pop-outs and a walk. First pitch from Vanderheit. Hit in the air left side, curling out of play, and it's going to be strike 1. Middle infield a few steps back in double play depth. Applegate, the second baseman. Anderson, the shortstop. No balls, 1 strike. Casillas holding on Bastidas at first. The pitch. Dots the outside corner. A called strike. No balls and 2 strikes to Stewart. Hitting .340 this summer. Trying to keep this game alive. Vanderheit, a couple of shakes, now sends it down the hill. Misses up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A fastball from Vanderheit. Pitching out of the stretch, crouches down, continues to shake off his backstop, Charlie Graham, a couple of times. Now collects himself at the belt. The 1-2. Another one that misses up and away. Identical pitch from the one prior, and the count's 2-2. 1 out, Bastidas is on first. He got there courtesy a base hit. The 2-2. Upstairs, way above the zone for Stewart. An easy pitch to lay off of, and the count's worked full. That was Vanderheit's 100th pitch. He's notched triple digits. Here's the payoff. And it bounces in the dirt and gets away from Graham. A free pass to Stewart. And Bastidas just moves over to second. And there's 2 on. Still 1 out for the Merchants. And Peyton Dillingham finally takes the stroll out of the third base dugout. He tells his infield to back off. He wants to chat with his right-hander by himself. We'll reset it. It's 7-1. The Ground Sloths lead it. They put up that crooked number in the top of the second to open up the scoring when they sent 9 to the plate. 5 hits, a couple of RBIs from Selk, Graham, Anderson, Brozek. As the mound visit breaks, and the hill belongs to one person, and that man is Braden Vanderheit, who's back set at the belt, now goes home. First pitch to Brooks Newhoff. This is inside, just above the knees, and the call is a ball, 1-0. Newhoff, a home run and 6 RBIs this summer. 1-0. He looks at a called strike on the outer half. 1-1. Merchants responded with 1 in the bottom of the second. A double from Nate Reed that he took home by the throwing error. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Newhoff behind the count, 1-2. Ground Sloths added some insurance in the 6th with 2 and added on another 1 in the 7th. They lead at 7-1. Here's the payoff. 1-2, fouled back into the screens. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. One away, bottom of the 7th. Vanderheit, that was his 105th pitch. Another 1-2. Grounded left side. Brozek steps on third for the title. In time! Vanderheit goes complete game. Peyton Dillingham leads his team to the glory land. And the Ground Sloths are KCL champions for the second time in 3 years. And they mob the left side of the infield. Braden Vanderheit fires a gem. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. And the Sloths are KCL champions. A 5-3 double play. What a way to end it for the MVP Brozek to step on the bag and fire across the diamond in time. Can't write it up better than that. That'll do it. Catch your breaths, folks. The Ground Sloths are KCL champions. Peyton Dillingham, in his first year at the helm of the Sloths, has won it. Climbing through the losers bracket, lost to the Merchants on Thursday and responded. Picks up 2 wins in 5 hours, and the Ground Sloths have earned the right to call themselves Colonel's Collegiate League champions. For our coverage on the entirety of this 2024 KCL season, Adam Hipsky, Griffin Leonard, happy to be bringing you the action from Championship Saturday. A beautiful night at the Corn Crib that the Ground Sloths are going to celebrate. Party on the third base side, and that'll do it from the Corn Crib. Adam Hipsky, Griffin Leonard saying so long, enjoy your night. The Ground Sloths atop the KCL.